someone gets close to you, really close, the kind of close that feels good, that feels like what you've always wanted, and something in you, not a decision, not a thought, just a reflex, starts pushing. You pick fights that don't need to be picked. You go cold when they go warm. You find reasons why this won't work, why they don't really understand you, why it's probably better if they don't get any closer, and eventually, they believe you. And they leave. And you feel relieved. And then sometime later, you feel devastated. And you do it again with the next person. From the outside, this looks like fear of commitment, like self-sabotage, like someone who simply doesn't want connection. The psychology tells a completely different story. People who push away the people they love are not people who don't want connection. They are people who want it so much and have been hurt by it so badly that the brain has built an entire system to prevent it from getting close enough to hurt them again. The pushing isn't rejection, it is protection. And it is one of the most painful, most invisible traps in human psychology. Here's where it starts. Attachment theory, developed by John Bowlby and expanded by Mary Ainsworth, is one of the most well-replicated frameworks in psychology. At its core, the people we love first teach us what love means. For most people with secure attachment, closeness taught them safety. When they were distressed, someone came. When they were vulnerable, someone responded. Love became associated with comfort. But for people who developed what attachment researchers call anxious avoidant or dismissive avoidant attachment, the early experience of love was different. Love came with unpredictability, with withdrawal, with the experience of being vulnerable and then abandoned, or vulnerable and then overwhelmed. The brain drew a very specific conclusion from this. Getting close means getting hurt, not intentionally, not consciously. The conclusion was drawn before the person had the language for it, but it operates as fact. And so, when someone gets close, the nervous system responds not with warmth, but with alarm. The alarm that says, this is where it goes wrong. Get out before it does. Here's the layer that makes it feel so confusing from the inside. The moment of greatest closeness. The moment when someone says, I love you, or when they see you clearly, or when the relationship becomes genuinely real, is also the moment of greatest danger. Not logical danger, emotional danger, because genuine intimacy requires genuine vulnerability, and genuine vulnerability is exactly the state in which the original wound was inflicted. Psychologists studying what they call core wound activation find that people who push love away are not reacting to the person in front of them. They are reacting to the last person, or the first person who got this close. The argument that erupts from nowhere, the sudden coldness after a moment of warmth, the inexplicable feeling that something is wrong, that this needs to end, is almost never about the relationship. It is a trauma response wearing a relationship costume. The brain has been here before, and the last time it was here, it was badly hurt. So it does what it was built to do. It protects. Here's the layer that most people never name. At the core of almost every push-pull relationship pattern is a specific belief about the self. Either, I am too much. If they really know me, the full version, not the managed version, they will be overwhelmed and leave. Or, I am not enough. If they really know me, they will see that I am not worth what they think I am, and they will leave. Both beliefs produce the same behavior. If they're going to leave anyway, better to control when and how. Better to make it happen on your terms, through a fight, through distance, through creating a reason for them to go, than to wait for the moment when they finally see the truth and go on their own. Psychologists call this preemptive abandonment, unconsciously engineering the rejection before it can organically arrive. It is not manipulation. It is self-protection so deep it has become automatic. And it is heartbreaking because the person doing it almost always genuinely loves the person they're pushing away. Here's the mechanism that keeps the cycle running. Love is, by definition, a state of vulnerability. When you love someone, really love them, they have the power to hurt you. Their opinion of you matters. Their presence or absence changes how you feel. You need them in a way you didn't need them before. For people who survived childhood by learning not to need, this is intolerable. Not because they don't want to love, but because needing feels like the most dangerous thing a person can do. Psychologist Mario Mikulincer's research on avoidant attachment shows that when avoidant individuals feel the pull of genuine love, the threat response system activates as strongly as if there were a physical danger. Their brain equates emotional need with vulnerability and vulnerability with pain. So the system does what it knows. It creates distance, not because the love isn't real, because the love is too real. And the brain hasn't learned yet that this time it might be safe. Here's what all of this means. When you push away someone you love, you are not showing them that they don't matter. You are showing them exactly how much they do, because you only push away the people who have gotten close enough to threaten the protection system. The people who don't matter don't get close enough to push. The push is the proof of love, which makes it perhaps the most tragic thing in human relationships. The person you most want to keep is the one you work hardest to drive away. And the reason isn't that you don't love them. The reason is that you do. And your brain, built for a world where love meant danger, does not know what to do with that yet. So here's the uncomfortable truth. If you push away people you love, you are not broken. You are protected. The system that pushes them away was built at a time when protection was necessary. It worked then. It is costing you now. And the path forward is not to stop loving people. It is to slowly, carefully, usually with help, teach your nervous system that closeness doesn't have to end the way it did before. That this person is not that person. That this moment is not that moment. That being seen, fully, really seen, doesn't have to mean being destroyed. That is hard work. It is the hardest work there is. But the alternative, a life spent pushing away everyone who gets close enough to matter, is a loneliness that no amount of self-protection ever fixes. If this video describes something you live, share it with someone who needs to understand why. And subscribe, because every week we go deeper into the behaviors, the patterns, the things about being human that nobody explains.